up, peeps, and welcome back to the Lionel Beach Show. It's your first time tuning into the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos, man. Also, make sure y'all click that notification bell button so anytime I drop a brand new video, y'all be the first ones to get it. Now, let me start off by saying I've heard some really savage stories in life, but this particular story just takes the entire cake. Now, mind y'all, the story is a little bit lengthy, but it's definitely interesting, man. So make sure y'all watch the video in its entirety. Now, this is about none other than rapper Blueface. Now, Blueface isn't known for being the most cleanest individual. He's not known for really knowing how to really decorate a crib because, he definitely has a lack of furniture at his crib. So, all signs definitely point to Blueface. So apparently he flew out this woman he met on Instagram, took her to the crib, and it just all went downhill from there. He bought her a one-way flight to him in economy. He told her he'd buy her ticket back whenever she felt like going home. He promised they'd do a bunch of stuff, eat fancy dinners, take her to a party, etc. She was hyped back there in coach. Next thing you know, the red flags come up. He told her to Uber from the airport to his studio, then he'd take her back to his house. So she pays for a $15 Uber to him. She gets there, and obviously they ain't gonna let some random groupie with luggage in. She calls and texts him, no answer. So basically she waits outside the studio with her stuff waiting for him to respond. And this dude walks out the door like, my bad, no one told me you were here. Eventually, they actually leave the studio. She gets to his house, no lights, not a single bulb, nothing inside or outside. But she figured it was just because he was famous. Now, mind you, the dude done walked halfway into the house before she even gets her stuff out of the car, and it's pitch black, and she can't even find him. She walks in the house and stands in the hallway and still can't find him. She then calls him and said she just knew there wasn't nothing in the house because her voice had one of those haunted echoes. Then she sees his iPhone light and he's like, my bad, come put your stuff upstairs. So she's in the bedroom. She said the bedroom was nice. It did have an actual bed and they were chilling and talking. He's got green and liquor. He said he wanted to be low key the first night because he was tired, so they ordered food and chilled. Now, mind you, he was supposed to be taking her out to all these fancy restaurants, partying and all that. But, coming from the studio, I can imagine one would probably be a little bit tired. She didn't want to eat anything and get bloated, so she ordered a bottle of Voss. And a long story short, she made that Voss stretch out for 4 grueling and intense days. She said Blueface also stunk. He had on cologne, but it doesn't cover up 14-hour funk. And she offered to take a shower together, but he was like, nah. And she said his breath smelled like a Dutch. She did let him smash, and she's indicating it wasn't all that because he came too quick. So the next day he pops up like, hey, something came up real quick. I'll be back in a couple of days. Whatever you need, just hit me up. From days on out, he didn't answer the phone not one time. He left his house at 11 a.m. on a Saturday and came back at 5 p.m. on a Monday. He's on Snapchat, chilling, living his best life, and not answering none of Shorty's phone calls. Now, mind you, this whole time she's at his house alone. There's nothing in the house. There's a couch, no stove, no fridge, nothing, no running water. So mind you, I already said there's no power, but also not only is there no power, there's also no running water. Now at this point, her blood sugar is dropping and she's shaking because she hasn't eaten since before he actually left. Tries to order food, they can't get through the front gate of the community because security actually calls his phone and he doesn't answer. So a Saturday night, some people come through the crib and they have a party. She tries to sneak and see if it's him, but she's guessing it wasn't. It was a bunch of dudes, so she didn't want to go downstairs. Because she was definitely afraid. She hid upstairs in an empty room because she thought someone would come into one of the rooms with furniture. The last person left there Sunday at 3 p.m. He later responds to her 15 minutes later, apologizing and saying his house is being renovated. He finally orders her some food, but the food never arrives. They fight. He books her flight home for Monday morning. And as she's finding her way to the gate to the community, she got stopped by security and spends 20 minutes lying about why she's dragging a big, huge suitcase through the neighborhood and she actually misses her flight. Now, she did make it to the gate 5 minutes after the boarding door closed. She's crying, trying to rebook her flight, but she couldn't make it on the standby flights. So while she's waiting and in tears and crying in the airport, wow, she sees him walking through the terminal from his gate and she calls for him and he looks at her and keeps on walking. Now that is got to be the most savage story I have ever read, man. Definitely savage information. Like, why would you do somebody like that? I mean, karma is definitely real, people. You shouldn't do that to anybody, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. For one, you're being taken all the way from your home. You're going to a foreign place. You're dealing with a celebrity that's got, somewhat power, somewhat influence. So anything can happen to you at that point. You could be stranded on the side of the road. Her body could have went in the shop because she didn't have no food to eat. It's so many crazy things, and you're relying on a bottle of water, a rapper that you met on Instagram, thinking he's gonna be your savior, and then boom, look what happens. So y'all, let me know how y'all feel about this, man. How do y'all feel about this shady stuff? How do y'all feel about how he did Little Mama? Now, I do not have her identity. She does wish to remain private, which I can totally understand because that's definitely some embarrassing stuff that can actually occur to somebody. And I'm pretty sure in hindsight, the phrase, if you knew better, you do better, definitely resonates in her head. So y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Make sure if you subscribe to me, go ahead right now, double tap on that bell or hold down the bell, change it from personalized to all so y'all can get every video I drop. And I'm going to peep y'all on the next one. Holla.